And the job he's done is great. We had the auto industry in yesterday. They don't want people to fix their car. I said, that's strange. I never heard of that. They have a thing to, nobody's allowed to fix their car. They gave a man 7 years in jail actually because he fixed his own car. So I thought we'd do something about that. But we'll get it all straightened away. Can you believe it? They want a bill that prohibits people from fixing. So if you're mechanically inclined, I went to school with some guys that were, in some cases, horrible students, but they could fix an engine blindfolded. They could take a car apart blindfolded, but they weren't too good at arithmetic and other things, but they were great. And so there's a move on to stop people from fixing their car. I didn't understand it, but we had a great meeting yesterday.
What's up out there, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. Hope all is well with you guys out there on this beautiful Tuesday night. All is well here. Well, long gone are the days of the shade tree mechanic, or the uncle down the street, you know what I'm saying, or cousin, or just the old man, you know what I mean, that just knows cars, like he knows the back of his hand, with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Bring it back about around here about make about 2:30. I'll fix it for you. That kind of thing, that's over with. You see what I'm saying? Because they got these cars, you know what I mean, as it is, so complicated. Okay, so complicated. And then they want to take your right away from being able to, fix it yourself. By taking the tooling away, diagnostic computer-like style machines and stuff like that. They want to take that out of your hands. Why? Because it's about control, and whoever is in control of these cars, fixing your car, those are the ones that profit from it. And now, see, this is what the automotive industry is all about. They are greedy. You see what I'm saying? See, what they want to do, as a matter of fact, they passed a bill called Bill HR 7389. We're going to get into that bill. But what they want to do is actually add this vehicle telematics system inside your vehicle. And anytime something is wrong with the vehicle, you understand, they will shut the vehicle down to where you can't drive it. And you have no other choice but to call them to actually fix it. Ain't that about nothing? See, this is the reason why car just needs to stay, on the lot. You see what I mean? Let them go ahead and lose money. I think at this point it's probably better to just get a damn bike or just walk, if that's what it all comes down to. Because here's the deal. They are limiting parts for older cars. So much to the point to where you got these mysterious fires taking place in junkyards. You know what I mean? All over the nation. Mysterious fires popping up in junkyards. You see what I mean? Salvage yards. That's what we used to call them, junkyards, but now they're called salvage yards. They don't want you to have salvage yards. They want to force you into buying these particular cars. You know what I'm saying? That's just loaded with all kinds of stuff you don't want nothing to do with. Telling you when it's time to think. In other words, your reflexes, reading your reflexes on how you're driving or whatever. You need a cup of coffee. Stuff like that. Telling you that, nah. What you need to do is shut up. You know what I mean? If you're that damn smart, you can repair yourself. You see what I'm saying? And Ford got a nerve anyway. Ford just put out a recall for I don't know how many, repairs that you got to take the car back to the factory. I see GM be doing the same thing. I'm saying hundreds of thousands of cars on recall because something that they didn't take care of, when they was manufacturing the damn things. Okay. But I got an article I want us to check out, and then we're going to get into this bill, HR 7389. Now, President Trump claimed auto executives want a bill prohibiting people from repairing their own cars. The decision reportedly took place during a meeting with the heads of General Motors, Ford, and businessman Roger Penske. Roger Penske is actually a race car driver, okay? But he owns a lot of stock, you know what I mean, in the automotive industry. So he may as well be one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, automakers have previously sought to limit access to onboard computer data, citing security and safety risk. They don't give a damn about your security or your safety risk, because why? If they did, stuff like this couldn't happen. This is Sugar King right here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he is an incredibly funny comedian. Y'all need to go ahead and look him up and check him out. But look to the left of this screen right here. Look at this damn car right here. This car got dented up by a bicycle. You see what I'm saying? A bicycle. Now, do you think a car that can melt like, just fold in like a marshmallow of some sort from hitting a bike, you think they really care about your safety? I think not. The materials that they're using to make cars out of now ain't nothing. Tennis ball can dent cars these days. You see what I'm saying? A tennis ball. Hell, you can play the Hulk yourself and smash a car up and look strong. Look powerful. That's how bad, cars is. So they don't give a damn about your safety. It's all about money, just like everything else in this country. Back to the article. President Donald Trump says he had a great meeting with the heads of General Motors, Ford, and racing team legend and businessman Roger Penske this week about legislation that, in the president's words, would prohibit people from repairing their own motor vehicles. Look, anything that you can't fix yourself, you ain't got no business with it. It's really not yours. You don't own it, even though you paid the money for it. You just renting it, okay? On Thursday, June 4th, he said the auto officials want a bill that prohibits people from fixing their cars, though it was unclear what legislation Trump was referring to. There are various pieces of legislation being bandied about Congress that will protect owners' rights to repair their own vehicle, though in some cases those rights might be restricted or owners could be required to meet certain safety standards. Listen to this mess. Car owners have a right to repair their own vehicles now, but in recent years, legal battles have been fought over car owners and independent auto repair shops getting access to onboard computer data. See, this is the goal, computer data. Now, you know what's keeping the computer data, don't you? You know what I mean? With these telematics, systems that's on board. Your 5G, you know what I mean? And that's another reason why they're reverting all the stuff back to data centers, building all these data centers. See, it's just not about controlling you as an individual, but your car too. Okay? That's what it all boils down to. That makes it far easier to diagnose and fix vehicles that automakers have in some cases sought to protect. Industry groups like the Alliance for Auto Innovation have taught automakers willingness to work with independent repair shops, but also noted that providing unrestricted access to onboard data is a security and safety risk. Like I just showed you, they don't care nothing about your safety, people. They don't. To continue, Ford also has recently announced a nationwide marketing campaign to convince Ford owners that dealerships, not independent shops, are the best places to get their cars and trucks fixed. The topic came up abruptly at an Oval Office event called by Trump to discuss moves he is making to upgrade coal plants. Okay? Like I said, if that were the case, why are we getting all these recalls on these cars? Hundreds and thousands of them. I mean, so many recalls. Every month there's a recall. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even building the cars right coming off of the assembly line. Okay? To continue, we had the auto industry in yesterday. They don't want people to fix their car, Trump said. I said, that's strange. I'd never heard of that. They have a thing too. Nobody's allowed to fix their car. They gave a man 7 years in jail, actually, because he fixed his own car. So I thought we'd do something about that. But we'll get it all straightened away. Okay? Yeah, when you gonna do that? Because these greedy jokers, they want control. Other than that, like I said, you just be better off leaving them where they at. Okay? To continue, you believe it. Trump continued. They want a bill that prohibits people from fixing. So if you're mechanically inclined, I went to school with some guys. They were, in some cases, horrible students, but they could fix an engine blindfolded. They could take a car apart blindfolded, but they weren't too good at arithmetic and other things, but they were great. And so there's a move on a stop people from fixing their cars. Okay, well, they need to abandon that move. They need to abandon that move because this ain't gonna fly over well. Okay, I didn't understand it would be, I didn't understand it, but we had a great meeting yesterday with the head of General Motors, Roger Penske, and, well, the head of Ford, Trump said. We had a great meeting, I think. The White House did not immediately respond to the free press request for clarification on what legislation Trump was referring to. It was also not immediately clear what case he was talking about, involving someone sentenced to jail for repairing his own vehicle. 7 years, people. 7 years that Trump just said they gave somebody for fixing his own car. You don't want none of that. This is where people are going to have to stand up and go head to head with these auto manufacturers here in this country. Okay? In conclusion, here it says Ford Motor Company confirmed for the free press that Andrew Frick, president of Ford Blue and Model E, met with Trump on June 3rd at the White House, and the issues was to discuss repairing vehicles. A Ford spokesperson declined to comment further. However, GM declined to comment on the president's remarks. Okay? Well, I don't think the meeting really turned out like they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go and check out this bill, HR 7389. And it reads, HR 7389, the Motor Vehicle Modernization Act of 2026, is bipartisan legislation introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives aimed at establishing federal rights to repair guidelines and preserving consumer vehicle modification rights. It was advanced out of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce and is heading toward a full floor vote. Okay, and it just gets into the schematics about right to repair. The bill incorporates a scaled down version of the Repair Act, codifying national memorandums of understanding MOUs, to enforce independent automotive repairs. What it does requires automakers to provide independent repair shops with the same diagnostic and repair information that franchised dealerships receive. Vehicle scope applies to light duty vehicle under 14,000 pounds, as well as heavy duty vehicles over 14,000 pounds. Enforcement gives the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, authority to enforce these data sharing agreements and impose civil penalties. Well, there go the civil penalties for you. These people are full of it. They really are. Let's finish this. Number 2, vehicle modifications and ADAS. Section 221 of the bill contains the ADAS, Advanced Drivers Assistance Systems, Functionality and Integrity Act. What it does ensures that vehicle owners and the aftermarket industry can continue to safely modify cars, trucks, such as adding bumpers, winches, or bike racks without rendering safety systems inappropriately. Yeah, it was inappropriate. Yeah. What? that is imperable, excuse me. Next, steps for safety directs the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, to conduct studies and establish data-driven guidelines detailing safe modification limits regarding ADAS. Okay, you can track the exact roll calls, committee amendments, and legislative progress on Congress.gov HR 7389 page to read industry perspectives on why automotive groups are pushing for the specific committee language. You can review details on NADA, which is NADA legislative updates, or the SEMA right to repair overview. This is some mess all the way around. Okay, this is mess. I don't care what nobody say. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's time to think of other ways to get around. You know, might have to do like the Amish. Get you a horse and buggy. You see a horse and buggy or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't let these people control you like this. You see what I mean? Because it all boils down to who's in control so they can get paid for being in control with this data mess via vehicle telematics systems. Onboard vehicle telematics systems. Okay? That's just what it all boils down to. But what say you people? What do you think about this situation right here? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.